In this video, I'm going to show you how I used some found sounds or some field recordings, how I edit them, and then bring them into enegy-xt for more processing. I'm going to try to create some things that I know that I'm going to need to kind of fill in some gaps and create some transitions and dynamics for a song later on. What I've done is just recorded several bits just using my phone, using the built-in voice recorder. And so I use that quite often just to grab sounds from the real world and then bring them in. And then, of course, I'm going to do a lot more processing to them. Let's check it out. So what I do is I usually just send those audio files to my email address so that when I get to the computer, I can just pull them in, download them, and I have them here just sitting on my desktop. I'm going to open up Ocean Audio as my wave editor, and I can open all three of them up at the same time, which is nice. And I can just double click here to switch between which one I'm editing. And this is what they sound like. So this is the first one I did here. This is the back door. This is actually my back door. I was letting out my dogs, and this is what it sounded like. It's a very, very creepy, creaky, squeaky back door. And there's even like a bird or some sort of animal in here. And then the door closes. Really, all I'm going to do with this in the editor is make sure that there's no dead space. So I'm trimming off any of the absolutely silent parts, giving a little fade in there to the beginning. Trim off this last bit and also fade out the end. Okay, I'm just going to run a normalization on it. We'll do 90%. You can hear right there, there's a little bit of wind that hit the microphone. But even that could be useful. I often get ideas just kind of scrubbing through this. Lots of little sounds that I could probably pull out of there. It almost sounds like a cymbal. Okay, so I'm just going to save that. Once I bring it into enegy-xt, I can chop it up further if I want, but I just wanted to get it nice and clean and normalized. All right, the next one I did was, I just called it moving noises, and I was actually just really close up to a Tupperware container that was sitting on top of a Ziploc bag, and I just moved it across the counter. So again, I'm just going to get rid of any silence. Fade in just the very beginning part there so there's no click. And I'm also going to trim out this little bit of silence. Okay, and then trim the very end. And fade it out. Okay, again, I will normalize under amplitude, normalize. and we'll save that. The last one is a sound of my finger just rubbing across a paper towel tube. It still had paper towel on it, kind of picking up those ridges made this sound. I really want this last part, so I'm going to trim it. One thing that I'll have to do is export these or convert the MP4 audio to WAV files so that enegy-xt can read them. Ocean Audio is actually really great for this. It's very easy to do under File, Export, and there's all sorts of formats all ready for me to just quickly export. In this case, I want a PCM WAV format, 16-bit, and I'm using noise shaping for the dithering. Once I have them exported as waves, they will automatically show up in the browser inside enegy-xt. So these are the real organic sounds captured with my phone, along with those synthetic alien storm sounds that we created previously. I could do quite a bit of that editing right inside enegy-xt, but when I'm creating sounds, I prefer to sort of edit the raw audio and save it so that it's archived for later use. So I'm getting rid of like any of the pieces of silence and making sure that everything's nice and faded in or faded out, and just keeping the bits of information that I really want to use later on. That way when I pull it into enegy-xt, I don't have to deal with any of that. Every time that I pull in that WAV file, I know that it's clean, the volume's been maximized, and I can get right into doing more creative sound sculpting things. And of course, I could also try seeing what it would sound like if I put it into a synthesizer instrument, which in this case is going to be working as a sampler. So that's the tube roller wave. I can just drag and drop it right in there. Now it doesn't really have an original key, but playing it across the keyboard might just give me some ideas. And it's a quick way to hear it in all kinds of different pitches. I can also play chords with this. And of course right now it still sounds just like noise. When I begin to mix these with other sounds and have fade in and fade outs, I can use these audio files again as building blocks. I almost see them as like Legos that I can fit together in all kinds of different ways. What I really like about this now is I've been now creating my own library of things that I have made myself. They're not sample packs that I've just found off the internet that anybody has access to. These things are textures and just even like the little bits and the, even the sound of the imperfection of capturing something with a phone is now all going to live together and start to gel together. And those idiosyncrasies and imperfections are really going to be part of the character and personality of whatever I make with these pieces. And I really like that. Stay tuned for more. I'm going to be doing some more sound design. There's a few more pieces and elements that I know that I'm going to need. I need more percussion. I need more rhythmic elements. I also need some kind of mid or high frequency range instrumentation, maybe some pluck sounds or bells or something like that. And of course, that can come from all kinds of things. I might use my audio editor to generate some tones and see what I can do with that. So stick around. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.